You're listening to the Cool CLE Show.
Hello, and welcome to the Cool CLE Show, brought to you by CoolCleveland.com, putting you in touch with cool events, people, news, and neighborhoods in the Cleveland region. This week, we're talking to Cleveland magicians David Garza of Lake Erie Illusions and David Anthony. We'll learn about a new monthly magic show being held at Battery Park Pub near Gordon Square, with the next one being scheduled for December 27th. But first, here's some more events I think should be on your calendar. Winger and Firehouse will be performing at the Akron Civic Center on December 28th. Trans-Siberian Orchestra is at the Quicken Loans Arena on December 30th. Master TC and the Visitors will be ringing in the new year at Brothers Lounge with covers and original material. The festivities start there at 8 p.m. and will go on until 2. The Grog Shop is putting on loads of local acts for its free weekend starting January 3rd through to January 6th. Charlie, Coup de Gras, Brent Kirby, Alyssa Boyd, and Michelle Gaw are just some of the acts booked. Poisonberry, a vegan bakery in Larchmere, is transitioning to new ownership and is hosting a soft opening where you can taste their vegan, gluten-sensitive, and paleo treats on January 8th. January 9th, Cleveland Stories dinner parties at the Music Box Supper Club hosts Dennis Sutcliffe as he tells tales of Cleveland's Prohibition-era mob bosses and gangs. And before we get to the interviews with David Garza and David Anthony, we have some new music. Church of the Lazy Bastards' new CD, The Longest Car Crash, was released December 19th, and this is a track off that album called Half a Mile.
Straight out, half a mile outside of town, I find your little house and burn it to the ground. Well, the lights are too bright, the sound brings me to my knees. Try to find a place for more than just me. Well, we felt the days pass clean out of our control, past untouched by all frontiers we've ever known. It's taking back the nights, it's taking back the years, it's taking all I have just to stay here, just to stay here. It's just a memory, taste of forgotten dreams, now spoiled in the sun. Well, I fought my way back through all this anger and misery, but what it's all been for seems all but lost to me. It's taking back the nights, it's taking back the years, it's taking all I have just to stay here, just to stay here. stand alone. In town, these strangers pass through me unseen. Unbeknownst to them, now these streets belong to me. Straight out, half a mile outside of town, I built a little house, rubble on the ground. I built your little house from the rubble on the ground.
All right, we're joined by David Garza of Lake Erie Illusions to learn about a new monthly magic event happening at the Battery Park Pub. Thank you so much, David, for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me on.
So the type of magic you do is called strolling up magic. Can you kind of talk us through what that is?
Yes. Well, it's strolling close-up magic. And so close-up magic is done like at a table. I go out at an event and perform for small groups of people that are standing around or from table to table and do close-up magic with small props like cards or coins or small ropes, cups and balls, things that happen at the table or even right in the spectator's own hands. And then I perform magic right there in front of their eyes as opposed to being on stage or far away or something like that.
Yeah. So the impact of that, your sort of audience, your very intimate audience, as it were, you're so close. It must be some pressure to really, do the trick right there, right with them so close to you. How did you get into that sort of type of magic?
Well, I always had an interest in magic, but it wasn't until I saw a close-up magician that it really intrigued me, and I said, wow, I have to learn how to do this. This is amazing, to be able to do it up close right in front of someone's eyes like that.
Yeah.
And we, close-up guys always say there's a difference between watching magic, be it you watch it on TV or on stage, and experiencing magic. And when it's right there in your own hands, you're right in front of your eyes at a table right in front of you, it's that intimacy and that the impossibility of it going, I'm watching, I'm here, I'm seeing it, but it's still going on. And it just, that experience of that type of wonder and amazement is a blast to do. And when I experienced it, that's what made me say, this is what I want to do. I have to do this.
You have to master that. So I've seen some video footage of you doing your tricks. And what always intrigues me is the person you're sort of performing the trick with kind of instantly has this sort of cynical, jaded sort of look on their face, like this guy is not going to pull the wool over my eyes. And yet you always do. So what is sort of your feeling when you do that?
Well, you run across different types of people at an event, because usually nobody's expecting, at a corporate party or somebody's barbecue or something that there's going to be a strolling magician there. And so some people love magic and they're excited. Oh yeah, show me whatever you got. And then most people are skeptical, and that they assume that I'm some kind of children's magician, going to do clowny balloon twisting things or something. And they don't realize that the impact that it's about to have on them.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to figure it out. People enjoy the puzzle of it. They're usually not being hostile about it. But people want to feel, oh, I'm smart. I can figure this out, whatever. And so they look at me with an amount of suspicion. Yeah. And then they always want to say, okay, I'm going to see where this is going. And they try to anticipate what might be happening or whatever. And then part of the fun of magic is the element of surprise.
Yeah.
They think something's going to happen, but then you spin it on them and something else happens. And it's that moment where they realize that they're surprised and they had no idea how it was done. It turns it from an intellectual puzzle into, again, that experience of wonder and amazement. Mm-hmm. And that's what we'll shoot for.
Yeah.
Magician.
So what's your favorite trick? What's like the one that you kind of always really enjoy doing?
Well, people ask me that a lot, and there's two answers. One is that there are certain tricks that spectators love, and I get the best reactions out of them. And so I perform those particular tricks quite a bit because it's great for the audience. There are other tricks that the way it's done, the people that invented the trick are the psychological ones, really understand how the brain works and how the brain can be guided or is fooled or whatever you want to call it. And it's just so ingenious. I admire these people that had figured this out, years ago and turned it into entertainment, that I love doing that trick because I love watching that concept work on somebody.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a self-gratification of this is a trick I love because I love how it works out.
Yeah.
But as far as the tricks that people enjoy, I do a trick with Chinese coins that have holes in them, and then the spectator strings them onto a string for me, and then one by one, right in their own hand, the coins come off of the strings magically. And to have it in their hand when the coin comes off the string, it just blows their mind, and I get the best reactions out of that.
So tell us a little bit about this monthly gig that you've got going on at the Battery Park Pub.
Yes, so the Battery Park Pub just opened late this summer over on West 76th Street in the Detroit Shoreway, Golden Square area. And the owner saw me performing at another event in Tremont, and he said, you have to come and do magic at my place. And so I'm the house magician there, so I'm there once a week on Thursdays, walking around the restaurant bar, entertaining people at tables. But then he also wanted to do a monthly magic show and upstairs in their lounge. And so starting in November, we did our first one, and then we're going to be doing them every month with myself and some other magicians from around the Cleveland area and provide a wonderful night of magical entertainment.
And so the next one you've got coming up is December 27th. It's going to obviously be yourself. And then you've got some other people joining you who's also on the bill for that one.
Yes. So there's a young, fabulous magician in town named Nick Eaton, who is fantastic, and he's going to be joining us. And then there's a comedy magician named Eric Thompson, who is just amazing and hilarious. And so he's going to be kind of headlining the show for us in December.
Great. Well, it sounds really interesting. It's definitely something different in our town. And thank you for coming on the show, David, and telling us about it and telling us about your craft. And so head on over to the Battery Park Pub on December 27th. And of course, every month after that, it's the last Thursday of every month. Okay. So check it out. Battery Park Pub Magic Show. Thank you so much, David.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks again for having me.
We now have some more new music from Cleveland's Erin Burke. This track, Long Gone, was released on December 8th, and it's available from iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Google Play. Check it out.
You told me I'm wrong once too many times today, and you say you know what's best for me. Well, I've lied to myself for longer than I'd care to say, and you've done it for the last time to me. You put me down, you're keeping me in line. Now I'm done with justifying all I do. You'll find I'm not the girl you once could push around, and I'm not taking any more from you. And you say there's no I'll be
All right, we're now joined by another magician in Cleveland. It's David Anthony. Thank you so much for joining us, David.
No, thank you for having me on.
All right.
Pleasure.
Now, I've been watching your videos and things like this, and you do a very interesting type of magic. You hypnotize people. Is that right?
Yes. So I am a magician, illusionist, but I'm also a comedy hypnotist. And it's crazy. It's totally different. So I do hypnotize people to do crazy things. Forget their name, lose their belly button. Let's see, the one guy's Taylor Swift at the end of the show. So that's pretty interesting.
Okay, so if I start clucking like a chicken towards the end of this, I'll seek you out.
Right. If it goes silent on the other line, I know you just fell asleep back there.
So
because I'm not boring, but hopefully because of the hypnosis.
So tell me, how do you, how do you stumble upon that as a career? How did it start out for you?
So I started doing magic when I was very young. I was 5 years old when I got my first magic kit. Like most kids, they get a magic kit for Christmas or their birthday or whatnot. And I got a magic kit as well. And then I did my first show when I was 12 years old, and in front of about 300 or so people.
Wow.
And my uncle used to do magic when he was a kid, just for the family and family parties. So when I was about 10 or 12, he gave me all of his stuff. So my magic kept growing. And then in high school, I went to St. Ignatius High School, and I was part of their circus company, which is a juggling and magic club there. And so with that company, we would perform, and then I started working on my own performance a lot in high school, and I started traveling, competing in these magic conventions all over. And then, I took it on full-time with the John Carroll University, but then, took on magic full-time as a career. And then, go ahead.
Your nickname is the Sinatra of magic. Yeah. So I guess that's a bit of a sort of a clue to the types of shows that you put on. So can you give people a little bit of a taste of what you can expect if you go to a David Anthony show? Yeah.
So the reason why I was coined the Sinatra of magic, not because of my singing. You do not want to hear that. But it's that classy style. So the way, my costume that I wear, the way I dress, and the music being played, although it's not all classical music, or let's say that 50s era, but there's elements of that in the show. And I when I was younger, I used to watch Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Red Skelton, tons of other, Fred Astaire, tons of other different entertainers. And I use that in my performances. Maybe not necessarily I'm doing, tap dancing, but different elements of Fred Astaire or Red Skelton and how he looks, and Sinatra and how he stands or whatnot. And I use that and work with my theater directors and choreographers, and we kind of emulate that into my show.
You talked about people losing their belly buttons and things like that. So what's your favorite trick?
Yeah, so the losing the belly button, that's with the comedy hypnosis. And that, I guess that's where the question originated. How did I get involved with that? Well, a few years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I picked up a book on hypnosis, and with the magic, it kind of goes hand in hand. Although hypnosis is not a trick, it's not a trick at all. They're actually under. But I started studying hypnosis, and then I worked with a Las Vegas hypnotist, and we developed a stage show, and that's the one I'm currently doing. So.
Now, I did go to I went to a hypnotist show a long time ago, and I fully went in there like prepared to do it. I was gonna be hypnotized, and it just didn't work for me. So, are there like certain people that are more open to that, like mentally? So, how does that,
So anyone could be hypnotized. In fact, anyone and everyone could be hypnotized. It just takes longer for some than others. Whether that's maybe they had a long day and there was something on your mind, back of your mind the whole time. So when the hypnotist asks you to relax and focus on his voice, maybe something was in the back of your head that you couldn't fully
just
relax.
Couldn't let go of. Yeah.
It's because hypnosis is you're not asleep. You're just in a deep state of relaxation. And in that deep state of relaxation, you're open to my suggestion.
And that's when the wackiness ensues.
That's when clucking like a chicken. Yeah, happens. Absolutely.
But from the illusionist side of your performance, what's sort of your favorite things to do on stage?
Yeah. So as far as the magic side, there's two different things that I really enjoy. The first is having audience volunteers up on stage with me, because each performance is totally different. I never know what to expect out of the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. It's fun for them to partake in the magic and for the magic to happen in their hands. As far as the illusion side, we do an illusion where I levitate one of my assistants, and we've done this for years now, since I can remember performing. So since I was 12, actually, and it's a beautiful levitation, and it's one of my favorite pieces to perform.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Well, I know you're going to be out and about traveling outside of Cleveland over the next little while, but you obviously do come back to Cleveland and play or not play, perform. And, and of course, people can hire you for their corporate events, parties, things like that. So go and check out David Anthony on danthonymagic.com. Also, you can be like me and just enjoy watching your YouTube videos as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Some of the audience reactions are worth it.
That's the fun part for us. The show, day in and day out. So it's sometimes, we see the same thing happen. But for the audience, that's the fun part. When they show that expression of amazement or wonder, that makes it all worthwhile. All that hard work.
Absolutely. It sounds like such a fun job to do. You're very, very lucky to have such an enjoyable profession. Thank you so much, David, for spending time with us and talking to you about your magic. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
And that's it for this week. Make sure you check out the monthly magic gig at the Battery Park Pub that showcases some of the best magicians in the Cleveland area, like David Anthony. But this month, on December 27th, you can join Lake Erie Illusions along with comedy magician Eric Thompson and close-up magic from Nick Eaton. There's limited seating, so to get tickets, you can call 216-999-7074. That's 216-999-7074. Big thanks to David Garza and David Anthony for sharing information about their craft, and to the Church of the Lazy Bastards and Erin Burke for the tunes. Make sure you check them out and download their new releases. And thanks to you for listening to the Cool CLE Show, brought to you by CoolCleveland.com. Have a good one.